I'm Rachel Power, Community Correspondent of AccountingWEB.co.uk, and I'm here with software guru and AccountingWEB editor John Stokdyk to discuss our Software Satisfaction Award results. So there's Free Agent, Sage 50, Cashflow, QuickBooks, Sage Instant, ClearBooks, VT Transactions, Xero, and Big Red Book.
No, it's all the big familiar names that we know in this sector. It's easily there was nearly 5,000 votes for these products, and some of them had very big numbers. Free Agent, Cashflow, both always do very well in the software satisfaction survey. But Sage 50's accounts, still is the most widely used desktop application in the market. The surprise is that we're nearly at the halfway point in terms of how many people are using desktop applications and how many people are using cloud. So that's, I thought that might have grown fast, continued growing faster, but we narrowed our focus down. Previous years we've had other kinds of software users like HR and CRM, which is a very cloudy kind of application areas. So actually taking those out of our sample means we've kind of probably nearer to the norms that it's very similar to the results we had in that exact survey a couple of weeks ago, and Iris were quoting the same numbers to me. So, as far as the AccountingWEB audience goes, we're nearly cloud. You asked about any surprises? No, there are no surprises in this market.
What about people that aren't on the shortlist that maybe could be there next year?
A couple of big names there, for example. The cloud offerings from Sage and from QuickBooks didn't quite make it over the threshold that we have for assessing products, but they were very close. And again, as more users go to cloud, maybe a lot of people are thinking about maybe adding or switching from desktop to cloud. I expect to see those two there. There aren't any. It's because it's so big and consolidated market. We're down to the top 2 or 3. You don't see many people breaking in there. But of course, then speaking of consolidation, we have Iris buying Cashflow, which is probably by market share in our survey the 3rd biggest application. And Cashflow's previous winner of this category. So it will be interesting to see if they can kind of retain that loyalty amongst their users when they lose the sort of personal touch that you might get. People know Dwayne Jackson really well, and they deal direct with the company. So Iris has got a job in its hands to keep that level up as well.
And what about the expenses sector? What do you think this tells us about software trends in the SME market?
Well, we were talking about 50% penetration of the cloud in small business accounts, but it's pretty much 99.9% cloud in expenses, because it's kind of very on the move, linked to the internet. And even more interestingly, the Free Agent Receipt Bank are applications that you use quite often on your mobile. You'll take a picture of the receipt, and then it'll actually extract the image, or then extract the data and put it into the ledger for you. So I think that's kind of showing us where the rest of the market will go. So it's not just web. It's not just web software. It's kind of, we're seeing the appification.
Yeah.
Let me remind you again, here's the shortlist for the Small Business Accounts Award in the 2013 Software Satisfaction Awards. And the winner is Free Agent Central. Yay! Joining us from Edinburgh is Ed Molyneux, the founder and managing director of Free Agent. Ed, you've won it before, but this is it's a hard-fought prize. This one, I think, it switches back between you and Cashflow. But what's it like to repeat?
It feels great. I think it's getting harder, actually. I think that everyone's game is sort of stepping up all the time. So we've seen Cashflow make some great progress. We've done a lot with the product recently, and so is Xero. And I think it's good news for accounting software in general. Everyone's working very hard to get one step ahead, and it's a hard-fought race.
Is there a particular element of what you do you think that contributes to such high satisfaction levels?
I think what we're doing is actually a little bit different from what Cashflow and Xero are doing. We're aiming for a different part of the market, where we're looking at the sort of micro businesses rather than traditional small business band of customers, and 95% of businesses in the UK have fewer than 10 employees. In fact, 75% of them have no employees at all. And it's that bit which we are really focused on. It's people who don't use accounting software already. So I think they're naturally just a bit more delighted to have something that at least works on that some level, rather than a spreadsheet or a carrier bag of receipts. And I think that reflects in how excited people are about Free Agent.
When we actually ran the survey, it was you up against cash flow. It's still you up against cash flow, but that's now part of a much larger combine, and one with which you're very familiar. What is that? Do you think that's going to do the competitive dynamic? I mean,
I think competition is great, and I think, as I say, I think we are looking at different parts of the market, which is why it's not unnatural for us to sort of sit alongside cash flow in many ways. I think cash flow customers do tend to be somewhat larger businesses, and we do really appeal very much down to that sort of notionally low end of the market. But of course, that's where the big numbers are. I think for accountants, what's interesting is that the sort of clients that really love Free Agent are clients that traditionally accountants have not loved, because they tend to be not very well trained in bookkeeping. They tend to be pretty messy with their record keeping, and if we're able to give them something that just helps them be much better at it, I think it really helps accountants engage with that part of the market that has been almost closed off to them in the past. So I think a lot of accountants are seeing it as an opportunity to engage with tiny businesses where other software doesn't allow them to do that.
On behalf of the members of AccountingWEB and all the team here, congratulations once again. As I say, how many times does that make it in total?
I think that might be the third one, but I'll have to go and check our trophy shelf just to work it out.
I'll be going. Okay, well, congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Thanks, John.
Let me remind you of the shortlist for the expenses management category in the 2013 Software Satisfaction Awards. The winner is Free Agent Central. Congratulations again.
It doesn't seem like minutes since we talked about the last time, John.
Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't catch you jumping up and down like we did last time. But this is a new category for you. I mean, you've swept the board on the things for small business. Can you kind of put the context to how expenses management fits in with Free Agent, and what you think might have won it for you?
Well, it's completely integrated, and I think the thing is that, I think what people are really excited about is, everyone's got smartphones now, and when they're out and about, they are able to use their phones to run their businesses practically. And we have a mobile optimized version of Free Agent that runs on iPhones and Android and so on. And within that, we're able to use the phone hardware, and specifically the camera, to be able to do expense capture, even though it's a web application. So I think the fact that it's all built into and is one part of Free Agent is what people find really useful. It's not a separate add-on application. It's just part of using Free Agent on the move, which people really like.
A lot of them now, we've noticed, are smartphone-based.
Yeah.
How much of a sort of pathfinder do you think this category of application is for small business accounts generally?
It's the natural mobile application, isn't it? Nobody wants to be sitting at their desk. Do you need to have a scanner, or how do you do things at your desk? If you can just take a photograph, then you do that with the nearest thing you have to hand, which is your phone. So it's the most mobile of all functions that we want to have in Free Agent, and it's a very natural thing for people to want to do on the move, and your smartphone is the place to do that.
What's the proportion between desktop users and mobile users?
Mobile's still relatively small, but it is growing quite fast, and so we're sort of wanting to be one step ahead of that. I think what we hear about, what we understand when we talk to businesses, is that many of them are sort of skipping the desktop, the laptop, as a thing that they want to engage in. They're going straight to their smartphone. People's expectations now that you should be able to do everything on your smartphone. There must be an app for that. And you really have to meet those expectations, because it's what people are wanting.
Well, these are exciting times, and I think we are in a market in transition, but you've done really well to triumph in not just one but two categories. So congratulations again, Ed, and we look forward to talking to you again before too long in the future. So Great. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, John.